morning. It's Monday, July 11th. And yesterday I read a brief article about Mike Lindell. Now you know Mike Lindell. He's the pillow guy. He's the My Pillow guy. And he's a businessman, a reformed drug addict, a gambler, and somehow or other he became successful as the My Pillow guy. And he's a very staunch Trump supporter. And when you look at his history with his drug addiction and his divorces and his gambling addiction and dropping out of college in the first couple of weeks and yet becoming a successful businessman, you recognize the fact that anything is possible in this great country of ours that is not so great anymore. Anyhow, the purpose of this article was to tell the world that Mike Lindell has gathered 50,000 affidavits to send to Georgia. And now these affidavits are written by people who claim to know something about the fraud that was going on during the 2020 election. And he is submitting them to the Georgia State Legislature or State Attorney General or somebody to try and get the results of the 2020 election overturned. Now you know what an affidavit is. It's a statement that is supposedly true and verifies information that has been gathered by someone. So let me read you a couple of affidavits and let's see what you think of them. Here's the first one. I voted for Donald Trump. Everyone I know voted for Donald Trump. So I believe Joe Biden could have only won by fraud. Now, an affidavit has to have some statement of fact in there. It has to have some proof. I don't think that satisfies the criteria for an affidavit. But nevertheless, that's one of the ones. The second one was, I was forced to use a permanent marker, a Sharpie, on my ballot. I have seen on the internet that this can cause votes to be miscounted. I believe this was done to allow Joe Biden to fraudulently win the election. So imagine that. A person heard something or read something on the internet that Sharpies can cause voting problems, that ballots will be misread because it's a Sharpie that was used to fill in or check the boxes. And this is the type of document that Mike Lindell is going to send to Georgia to prove there was fraud at the election. It doesn't look like he has any documents that have any kind of proof. No scintilla of proof at all. Just people's opinions. Well, you can go get 100,000 opinions and send them in. That doesn't mean a damn thing in a court of law. Facts. We need facts. And there are no facts. There has not been any fraud proven. We saw what happened when the infamous Rudy Giuliani with his sidekick Sidney Powell went around and attempted to bring 60 cases, 60 cases to the courts. And they were thrown out, every one of them, except maybe one, I think, was put on hold or something. Does that prove to me and to anybody else who has a reasonable brain that there was no fraud? Of course there was no fraud. These so-called affidavits are just crap because they lack substance. They have no factual evidence in them. And if this is the way that those on the right are thinking and talking about overturning an election because they have opinions are worthless. You need to have facts to challenge the election. They have gone so far afield that they are being sued by Dominion because they claimed the voting machines were not working properly. So I bring this to your attention today as an indication that if Mike Lindell could get 50,000 people to write an opinion, then this country has a long way to go in healing from the insane lies of fraud that was spewed so quickly by a losing president. And his minions still carry around the idea of fraud. When will this country come to its senses? When will this country realize that there was no fraud? If 50,000 people can sit down and take the time to write opinions, not facts, opinions about something that happened 2.5 years ago, they haven't gotten over it yet. Why? People lose elections all the time, and you must recognize that there's a reason that you lost, and own up to the fact that you didn't do a good job in the view of many people. And maybe you really did do a good job, but maybe your personality was not the kind of personality that one would expect from the leader of a nation. So there could be many reasons why you lose an election. And you have to recognize that the majority of people voted against you for whatever reason they had. And so running around and getting 50,000 opinions about your claims doesn't mean anything. It's time to give up the ghost. So I leave you with that this morning, that there are still wackos out there. Have a great day. Bye.